During his address to the joint session of Congress, President Trump announced his intention to push for legislation for $1 trillion of investment in the country's infrastructure. Vermont Senators Patrick Leahy and Bernie Sanders, together with other leading Senate Democrats, announced in January a $1 trillion package to finance failing roads, bridges, schools, ports, and water sewerage systems across the country. The blueprint to rebuild America's infrastructure is an ambitious plan to leverage Trump's promises to address the crumbling infrastructure across the country. Study after study has shown that the overall economic benefits of well-planned and implemented infrastructure are huge. Even so, the American Society of Civil Engineers gave U.S. infrastructure a D+ in its last report card and estimated that some $3.6 trillion of investment are needed by 2020. The report card gave Vermont infrastructure a slightly higher grade of C, indicating that continued attention to rebuilding is really needed. The costs of failing to invest are huge. In 2011, the New America Foundation estimated that poor infrastructure costs the economy in excess of $195 billion per year. Whether it is in longer drive times, poor water quality, long waits at the airport, or slow internet connections, the costs of poor infrastructure are real and must be addressed. Much can also be achieved through efficiency gains in the identification and implementation of projects, together with the improvements in the management of existing assets. Likewise, the rationalization of some of the more Byzantine features of our tax code, as well as the introduction of appropriate user fees, can help defray costs. The blueprint also makes reference to the creation of an iBank that would unlock pools of capital to provide low-cost loans or loan guarantees for appropriate projects across a broad range of sectors. But unleashing this requires regulatory certainty and the ability to charge prices that produce an accepted risk-adjusted return. Leveraging private finance from institutional investors will be important, but the bulk of this investment will have to come from public and corporate sources. There's no doubt that we need to ramp up our investments in infrastructure, and the blueprint is an excellent starting point. Macroeconomic managers will have to work hard to balance the effects of fiscal stimulus against the impact on the strength of the dollar and possible increases in inflation. Likewise, we must also be open to the discussion on the tax code and regulatory burdens, all the while being careful to preserve the gains in environmental protection we've achieved over the last 50 years. Significant infrastructure investment will help unleash economic growth and will also result in millions of new, well-paying jobs. Both of these are critical at a time when millions of people across the country feel like they're being left behind. An old Chinese proverb suggests that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the second best time is now. Infrastructure investment is something we really need now. Thank you.